The Complete Guide to Date Nights. Here I'm going to describe to you exactly how I maintain high levels of sexual excitement in my marriage. My wife and I have been together for over 6 years now, and to this day, we are unable to keep our hands off each other. Our sexual excitement is still genuinely 10 out of 10 in terms of the frequency of lust that we have towards each other, plus the strength, the power of this lust. Whereas what I've found is when I look at other couples, whether they're in a low quality relationship or a high quality, somewhat traditional relationship, they typically lose the sexual excitement rapidly. If you watched my previous videos, I've described the importance of a physical connection along with emotional connection and spiritual connection. So physical connections are very powerful, but very short-lived. And in other couples, especially nowadays, where there's so much sexual gratification to be had through social media, pornography, couples simply drift apart in their physical connection. And so they lose the sexual element of their relationship or marriage. That is no surprise that the entire relationship fails eventually. Date nights are honestly so important. It's so important that you, as a strong, masculine, dominant man, take charge, put in the effort, the time to make your woman feel like she is the only woman in the world. So here I'll just share with you exactly what I do with my wife. And it's something I've perfected over years of dating and marriage. It's not something I just figured out overnight. I've literally done all the hard testing and perfecting over many years. And date nights essentially are where you will focus on an evening of romance that guarantees sexy fun afterwards. So it's really important, conversely, that if you want to have sex with your woman or any kind of sexy fun, it must be precipitated through a date night. So you have the date night first, then you have the sexy fun afterwards. Just make sure you watched the previous guide on male hygiene, because this guide will carry on exactly after, immediately afterwards. So you need to know how to look your best naturally, how to groom yourself, how to present this best natural version of you in order to have a great date night with your woman. There's no excitement in relationships, at least not from what I've seen. Most relationships are boring, and you know this. If you have friends or even your own parents and you look at their relationship, the sexual element is completely terminated. It doesn't exist anymore. Or if it does, it is very vanilla. There is no sexy fun involved. It is just routine, boring, gray, stale sex because there's no effort put in anymore to build the excitement. Men simply don't know how to make their woman feel like $1 million. And again, I don't blame them. I've researched marriages and relationships a lot. I've looked at these online coaches, I've looked at books, and I've been disappointed by what I saw, really disappointed. These dating coaches are utter degenerates. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. They preach one thing to their followers. You see them all the time on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They show off their high value lifestyle of wealth and instant gratification. And they tell their followers, go make money, go find yourself a virgin, religious woman to marry. Yet they don't do that. Every content that they put out that features a woman, she's always essentially just a prostitute. She's an escort that he's hired for this video. Or if she is his genuine girlfriend, she's very low quality. She's certainly not a virgin. Virgin women do not expose themselves on online social media. When you see these high value men, so called high value dating coaches, and you see their Instagram and they tag their girlfriend and or their wife, and you go on her profile, you'll see that she's in a bikini. She's showing off her promiscuity. That's not what a high value, high quality religious woman does. So anything that these dating coaches promote or they preach to their followers, it's not going to work because they haven't shown you the success that they are telling you to go and achieve. Similarly, I've read a lot of books on relationships and marriages by these well known authors. And again, I've been equally disappointed. Most of these book authors are boomers who have based their research on the relationship that existed 30, 40 years ago. Like there's one book which is very famous called The Seven Principles of Marriage. And I'm not saying the principles don't work. What I'm saying is they are nowhere near as applicable in a marriage today. The book was written maybe I think 20 years ago, before social media was even popular, before Tinder, Bumble even existed, before people would Snapchat each other, send nudes, have OnlyFans, and so on. So they talk about a relationship, they talk about dynamics that have changed so much. You know this when you read the book, and it talks about how to maintain a really romantic life, the husband needs to take his wife out, but when they have a falling out, she would rather go to the mall and he would rather watch ESPN. Nobody watches ESPN anymore. Women don't go to the mall because they've had a falling out with their husbands anymore. You go to the mall to just go do shopping when you can't shop online. So the dynamics of the relationship are non existent. These authors no longer talk about how, well, they're unable to talk about how men will now resort to pornography or thirst traps on Instagram and TikTok to relieve the sexual frustration that they have, or women will keep their sexual frustration bottled up and take it out through toxicity, through maliciousness against their husbands. None of these books mention this. So is there any surprise that when men don't have someone literally telling them what to do, telling them what actually works, that women, their girlfriends, their wives, don't feel sexually excited anymore? Is it any surprise then that the physical connection that these two once shared, that you probably shared with your ex girlfriend or your current girlfriend or your wife, seems to dissipate day by day, week by week, because you simply don't know how to bring that sexual excitement back to a 10 out of 10 level? The worst relationship, in my opinion, is one where sex is treated like a duty, where sex is treated like a chore. Women should submit to their men, to their husbands. A loving, traditional, submissive wife would happily submit to her strong, dominant, masculine husband. But she does this not because she thinks it's her duty. She does this willingly because this man is everything to her. Similarly, as a masculine man, you have this strong desire to make your woman feel like a whore with you, even if she is a genuine virgin. You do this not because you feel like it's your duty, but because you genuinely can't keep your hands off your wife. So if you don't have this, you end up just having boring, stale sex where you go about your day, and when it's night time, you're drinking alcohol just to relax. Alcohol is the most disgusting thing on the planet. Your breath stinks. She's probably just on the phone, doom scrolling. You go upstairs to bed. You haven't brushed your teeth. You haven't even taken a shower. You lie in bed, lights off, and now you start having sex. You pump in her 3 times before you ejaculate. That's not a sex life. That's not romance. That is a dead relationship. I'm going to show you how to have romantic, fancy, and sexy date nights. And honestly, I believe this has been the key to my marriage being fulfilling. I can't speak for anyone else, but for me personally, this is what has meant me and my wife still have this incredible physical connection together, where no woman can compete, no man can compete, because the sexual chemistry that we share is unbreakable. So if you watched the complete guide on male hygiene and grooming, you're now at the stage where you've prepped your body, you're fully clean, you've showered, and now it's time to get ready for this romantic evening. What should you wear? You only actually need 2 outfits for date nights. That's it. You can have other outfits for the gym, for home, when you go out with your buddies. But for this specific event of taking your woman out and sharing a sexy, fun evening, you only need 2 outfits. The first outfit is something casual. This could mean a black t shirt. Now, notice I specified the color, black. Dark colors go well with every skin tone. So I'm quite tanned. When I wear light colors like white I can get away with, but green, red, yellow, I look like a clown. It not only hides this masculine look, it also means that I don't exude this sexy vibe. When you wear red, like a red t shirt, you don't look sexy. So stick to the dark colors. Genuinely, just get yourself a well fitting black t shirt. One that can be full sleeve if you wanted to, or one that can have the cuff right above the bicep. So you can show off your arms and your biceps to your woman. Then you need black jeans. Again, the color is important. Dark colors. Doesn't matter if you're light skinned or dark skinned. Dark colors go well with everyone. It complements this strong, dominant persona that you want to emulate. And then just black boots. So not trainers, not sandals. Get yourself a pair of black boots. And this casual outfit I typically wear when I take my wife out on a casual date, like a coffee date, maybe during the daytime, or a walk, whether it's a walk in the park, we go to a shopping center, so something still where I've put in effort. I'm not dressing like a hobo, but it's a bit more relaxed. Or fun social activities. I often take my wife to bowling, darts, something where there's an element of social fun, where you're laughing, there's other people. But this guide is specifically for a formal date night, because the formal date nights, the ones that are going to be conducted in the evening, these are the ones that will exude that sexy atmosphere, that will build that sexy romantic connection between you both. So what do you actually wear then? Well, that's what I've got on right now. Get yourself a dark dress shirt. So this is a dress shirt. You can see it has buttons, has a collar, cuffs, dark colored again. So navy, black, and so on. Not something light. Again, you could possibly get away with white, but just trust me when I say get yourself a dark dress shirt. Then you need dark suit pants. You could wear your dark jeans if you wanted to, but you need 2 outfits, right? I told you to get 2 outfits. So just get it. You get jeans for your casual outfit, but for your formal outfit, get yourself dark suit pants. Ideally the same color as your dress shirt, but you can mix and match. If your dress shirt is black, you can get away with your suit pants being navy, or vice versa. If your dress shirt is navy, you can get away with your suit pants being black. Now, you don't need a tie. You don't need to wear a suit jacket. You can do if you want to be really fancy. But this is sufficient. This is the look that feminine women in particular find extremely attractive. You often see, again, on like social media, women talking about the type of outfits that they love to see men in. And what I've found is the promiscuous women, the women who have sex a lot with a lot of men, tend to like gym outfits a lot because that's the type of guys that they typically date. Just an average gym guy, the guy that probably blasts on anabolic steroids. And what do these guys wear? Sweatpants, like whole stereotype that a guy in Grey sweatpants is very attractive to certain kinds of women. Well, these are those kinds of women. But the feminine woman, the woman that puts in a lot of her time and effort into her appearance in a wholesome way, the woman who cares about her virtue, she's attracted to that same caliber of man who cares about his appearance, who cares about his personality, how he presents himself to the world. So this formal look is almost like butter to their eyes. My wife is an extremely feminine, religious woman. So you can understand how she would love to see me dressed well. She would love to see me present myself as if I'm worth $1 million, which I am. And to complement this outfit, you just need formal shoes. So not your black boots, not your trainers, just formal shoes. I'm not going to show you pictures of what these look like because they're quite self-explanatory. What I would say is you don't need anything special. Please don't go out and buy designer clothes, branded items. There is nothing more repulsive to genuinely high-quality feminine women when they see men, so-called masculine men, behaving as homosexuals. And I'm not disrespecting the homosexual community, but any man who cares so much about superficial labels that he goes out and spends 10 times more on a branded clothing item like a Gucci belt, Armani shirt, Hermes shoes. You are a woman. That is female behavior. That's the kind of things, that's kind of habits and desires that women have. You should be embarrassed if you actively go out and choose to wear branded or designer clothing. Not only are you paying 10 times above what it's worth, you are acting like a homosexual. So don't spend a lot of money. This shirt that I'm wearing, I bought it a few years back for $40. That's it, just $40. My suit pants I bought for about $50. There's a retailer in the UK called Next, and they sell their own clothing products. Now, they have some branded items as well, but I never buy them. I buy their own products. And this retailer Next, it's on the high end of non-branded clothing, which means it's not cheap like what you'd get at Walmart, but it's nowhere near as absurdly overpriced as Armani or Gucci or Chanel or YSL. It's quality clothing that you pay a little bit more for, but there are no labels. There's no designs or logos on my outfits. It's probably the most cuckold behavior that a man can have when it comes to what he wears, is to advertise another man's brand. Not only have you paid Giorgio Armani $1,000 for this shirt, now you are advertising his brand through his logos for free. You are a cuckold. You're literally paying another man 10 times more for the privilege of advertising his clothing brand. Please don't be a clown. These online influencers think they look cool, buying and showing off their wealth in designer clothes. It's not cool. In fact, every feminine woman that I've spoken to, including my wife, finds this repulsive. In fact, it's a big turn off. So, nothing special, no logos, just plain outfits. This is the type of stuff that you would wear on a formal occasion, so I'll go into more detail, but dinner dates in the evening, late night drives, bars. Even though my wife and I do not drink, I find alcohol to be the most disgusting thing on this planet. It is repulsive. If you drink alcohol, I don't respect you. But I still take my wife to really fancy, really romantic bars where it's the vibe, the atmosphere that I want to capitalize on. A tip that I have actually for wearing these type of formal shirts, dress shirts, is you'll often find that if you go to the gym and you work out, you have this odd-shaped physique compared to the average man. The average man is either straight in their torso or a triangle, where their chest and their shoulders are narrow, but their waist is big. So when you, as a muscular man, buy clothing, you'll find that it doesn't complement you as well because your physique is the opposite. Like I'm 6'2", 220 pounds. I'm cutting right now. I used to be 240, 250 pounds even. So my physique is the opposite. It's a V shape where my chest and my shoulders are wide, but my waist is narrow. So when I wear clothes that I just buy from a retailer, at first they don't look good on me. They don't fit well. I have the problem that either it fits my waist because my waist is small, but then it means it's too tight around my chest and my shoulders, or I have the opposite problem where it fits my shoulders and chest because I've sized one up. I went to an extra size up, but now it's too loose on my stomach. How do I solve this? Well, I tailor my clothes. I don't know if you can see, but on this side, I have a table and I have a sewing machine. Nothing special. I bought it for around $100 off Amazon. And I taught myself how to tailor clothes. It took me 20 minutes, maybe an hour of practicing. And then I knew exactly how to do simple alterations, such as tapering the waist of a dress shirt or any shirt, even t-shirts. So I can happily go and buy one size above than what I need. Now it fits my chest and my shoulders, but the waist has too much baggage. It's too big on the waist. So when I wear it, I don't look good. With my sewing machine, I can reduce the waist. Sometimes I have to reduce the waist by about 8 inches, total fabric gone. 8 inches is like this much. Imagine this much I have to remove from a shirt, just from the waist, in order for it to match my V-shape physique. It takes me 5 to 10 minutes to do. 5 to 10 minutes, that's it. I don't have to pay someone to do it. I do it myself, and it's so easy. Similarly, when I buy jeans or suit pants, I can size one up because this way it fits my quads because I squat. It fits my glutes because I work out. It fits my calves. There's more room in the legs. But I find that the waist is now too big, so it looks baggy. I have to wear a stupid belt, and then everything gets scrunched up. It just looks not good. It doesn't feel nice. So what do? I use my sewing machine, and I taper in the waist, usually by about 4 inches. 4 inches removed from the waist of jeans or suit pants in order to fit me. And now I can wear it comfortably without even needing a belt. You can wear a belt if you want, but you don't want that horrible feeling of the fabric just being scrunched up like a snake all around your waist, and it doesn't look good. It looks like you're wearing your dad's clothes. What you'll find is the look, so how the outfit looks, and the fit is a lot more important than the label and the price. So a lot of men might find what I say about using a sewing machine a bit fruity. They'll say it's feminine behavior. Bullshit. You are so wrong. You're an absolute clown if you think that. The best designers in the world, even these branded designers that I rip on, Armani, Gucci, whatever, the best tailors in the world, if you want to go get a bespoke suit made, one that James Bond would wear, you'd go into London or New York, you go to those old-fashioned tailoring shops. Who will it be? Will it be a young woman that cuts your suit? No, it'll be an old man, the man who's been doing this for decades. So the best designers, the best tailors in the world are men. They use sewing machines. They are used to tailoring clothing. So it is not a feminine activity. If anything, it's a male activity. It's just that men have now become reliant on other people. They've lost this craft. So fine, if you don't want to tailor, ask your mother to do it, ask your wife to do it. But I would strongly encourage you to learn this skill, because then you can do it independently. And is there anything more satisfying as a man when you've learned a new skill and you can do something yourself to make yourself look better? You spend hours in the gym working out to build this awesome physique, yet it's covered up horribly because you wear outfits that don't even fit you, but you have no choice because it has to fit you somewhere. It has to fit you on the chest and shoulders, which means it's baggy on the waist, or you make it fit on the waist, but now it's too tight on the chest and shoulders and arms, and now it feels like you're showing off. Now it feels like you're one of those cringe guys, middle-aged guys who wear skinny jeans, who wear t-shirts which are ultra tight. You don't want that. So just learn to tailor. Another tip is when you work out, because your body is shaped like a V, it means there is no tension that's keeping your dress shirt tucked into your suit pants. So when you put on your outfit, you're going to tuck your dress shirt in, you're going to put your suit pants on top, but as you move around, as you drive, as you get up from the seat and you get down, as you bend down to tie your shoelaces, what happens? The shirt comes out. So you either have to leave it, in which case you look like a scruff, and eventually the shirt will just come out completely, or you have to keep tucking it in, which isn't very romantic. It's not very sexy for a woman to keep seeing a man put his hands down his ass, like as you're tucking your shirt in to your pants. So what's the solution? Well, I found this out after researching it from the military, what people in the army and the Marines and the Navy do to keep their dress shirts tucked in. And they wear something called shirt suspenders, or sometimes called shirt tucks or shirt stays. They go by different names. But basically, imagine you have a woman and she wants to wear stockings. This is like a tight that she puts up her legs, but it doesn't go all the way up. It just goes up to her thighs. If she just pulls it up to her thighs and she moves around, what happens? The stockings will loosen and they will fall down because the upper part of her thigh is thicker than the bottom part. So naturally, the stockings go down. So what do women wear? They wear stocking suspenders. This is a piece of like a belt. They tie it around each leg, and fastened to this belt are hooks. Then they attach these hooks to their stockings, and because the belt has been tied around her thigh tightly, there is now tension keeping the stockings up. You must know what stockings look like, unless if you've genuinely never been intimate with a woman before, because women love wearing stockings. You must have seen stockings in some way, maybe like even pornography. It's that tension action that keeps female stockings up. Well, people in the military, men use the same concept, but reversed. They use that similar belt suspenders, but directed upwards. So you can imagine you wear your dress shirt. In fact, I have them as well. I wear my dress shirt, and before I put my pants on, I will then put on my shirt suspenders. So each leg I pull up a belt. It's an elasticated belt. And I pull it right up my thigh, about halfway. Attached to this belt are usually 3 suspenders, hooks, also elasticated. I then pull them up and clip them to my shirt. At the front, from each leg, at the side, from each leg, and from the back. Now my shirt stays in, because there is tension being applied to pulling that shirt down. So when I now wear my formal outfit, and I take my wife on a date night, and I'm bending over to tie my shoelaces, and I'm driving, I'm getting up, getting down, I'm sitting, I'm standing, my shirt stays in regardless. And you honestly, you don't even feel it. Now again, there is this subset of men that think that wearing shirt suspenders as a man is feminine behavior. Would you consider the routine, the methods that men in the military deploy to look smart as feminine behavior? Of course not. Would you criticize a man who's in the army and call him feminine because every morning at 6 a.m., the first thing he does is to make his bed pristine? That's probably the first thing they teach you in the military, is how to make your bed. They literally teach you this. They teach you how to arrange your footlocker. Would you describe that as feminine behavior? So when they teach you in the army how to look presentable, how to look smart, and shirt suspenders are a great way of doing it, that's not feminine, that's masculine. You need to deploy whatever tactics you have at your disposal to looking your best. And these shirt suspenders are a godsend. Just try them out. Buy them online. They probably cost $10, $20 for a pair. And I guarantee that the next time you wear this formal outfit, you will look perfect when you first put it on, and you will continue to look perfect as the night goes on. And obviously, steam iron your clothes. So important. When you are getting ready. In fact, you can do this before you've even carried out your grooming and hygiene routine. So you haven't showered yet, you haven't groomed yet, you haven't perfected your hygiene. You're going to do that later in half an hour. Well, right now, go get the largest ironing board that you have. If you don't have one, go buy it. Buy the largest one. Just trust me, do not cheap out on an ironing board. The bigger the ironing board, the easier and quicker it is to iron your clothes. It's so simple. If I use a small ironing board, it takes me like 5-10 minutes to iron something. With a bigger ironing board, I can literally do it in a minute, 5 to 10 times quicker. Then you need a steam iron. That's just an iron that gets hot like a metal pellet and you can apply on your clothes. But it has a water reservoir. And the heating element heats up the water reservoir, turns it into steam, and that steam is projected out right onto the fabric. The hot steam loosens the fabric. It makes it very soft, very flexible. And then when you apply heat, that action of the pressure and the heat now forms a bond where the outfit, jeans or suit pants or suit shirt, the dress shirt, now looks pristine and crisp. You can tell I've not ironed this shirt because I've just washed it. And so it looks very scruffy right now. I don't mind. I'm not going out right now. I'm just recording a video. But if I was to go out, I would steam iron this shirt. And then just spray perfume, cologne, aftershave, whatever you call it. Not on yourself, but on your dress shirt. For 2 reasons. Number 1, perfume, cologne, aftershave has been known to be estrogenic, which means if it's applied onto your bare skin, there is a small risk that it can be absorbed systemically, where it goes all around your body. And from there, it can disrupt your endocrine system. That's your hormonal system. So it can cause you to produce less testosterone, but more estrogen. The simple solution to this is don't apply it to your skin. Just apply it onto your shirt. When you apply this perfume onto your shirt, there is now a distinct barrier between the perfume and your skin. Your shirt's in the way. So the penetration of this perfume into your bare skin and the risk of it being absorbed systemically is negated. It doesn't exist anymore. Secondly, when you apply it to your clothing, what you'll find is people like you more. They like your smell more because perfume smells when it's heated up. There's alcohol inside perfumes and aftershaves. Typically, when your body heat heats up that alcohol, it evaporates, turns into a gas from a liquid, and that's how people can smell you. So if you apply it to your bare skin, your skin is very hot. So that perfume heats up very quickly, heats up very strongly, so that aroma becomes overwhelming. Your wife is sat next to you, and while she can smell your perfume, it's too much. She thinks you've doused yourself in perfume because you stink. That's not what you want to give the impression. You want to have the perception that people believe whatever scent they smell from you is your natural fragrance. Even though they know you're wearing perfume, it needs to be so subtle that when they smell, particularly when they're close to you, they think you smell good, not that your perfume smells good. So apply this perfume onto your dress shirt, 1 or 2 puffs. And then, because there's now a barrier between your skin and the perfume, your skin is warm. It will slowly heat up your dress shirt throughout the night. That will cause a very slow and gradual evaporation of the alcohol in the perfume, which means that aroma that smells nice is faint, but it smells good enough. And it lasts a lot longer. So your girlfriend, your wife, when you're going on this fancy date, she thinks, God damn, My man smells amazing. She gives the compliment to you, not the perfume.